Got you. A warrior, weak, pathetic. Go on. Feel one left to do that for you.
What's that?
Take it. If you're too much of a cat. Broken and lost. Just like your soul.
Come on. There.
Why go on when you give everything and face that which torments you, only to find that it is worse than you could have imagined? Why go on? Is it really so weak to ask this? Or are we just so afraid of the honest answer that we do not dare pose the question? Sometimes the answer lies in a memory, a feeling, a song.
It's not real. It's true. It's not real. It's real. Listen to it.
Don't give up.
Dillian, it's
Like this.
It's not real. It's real. It's a trick. Don't trust it. Baby, you're already dead.
Who are you?
Do you still believe in yourself?
No, it's not. It's a trick. It's a trick. He's already dead. He can't be here. It's impossible.
Dillian.
Come to me. Please.
The light. Go towards the light. It's him. There he is. It can't be him. It's just a trick. It's in your mind. No, he's here. It's in your mind. It's real. It's happening. Go towards it. There it is. You're imagining this. It's Dillian. He's gone. You were so slow. How could you? Keep going. How could you? Keep going. Ignore the pain. I told you. It was the trick to you. I told you. Where are you going? See, there's nothing to follow. Come on.
Before she first met him, she was not in a good place. Just a teenager, but not like the others. Barely functioning, she rarely left the house. Her father, Zinbal, made sure of that. Only occasionally did she venture out on her own, collecting firewood and herbs. Errands out in the Orkney Plains. That was her world. Like this one. Barren and lonely.
It's already disappeared.
Nothing lives here, not even you. It's in your mind. You think you can see it, but it's in your mind.
There's the tree.
There he was,
Where is
the lone figure of a boy,
it? He's there. Under the tree.
soul play under the shade of a tree.
You have to
She remembers the first time she saw him. To her young eyes, he moved as if dancing, and the world danced with him. The gloom lifted, and for the first time in years she felt
He's there.
a ray of hope.
You can see him. There he is. Come on, you have to keep
Dillian is waiting.
The Northmen tell of a great hero. His name is Sigmund. His father's hall was built around a great tree, and one day Odin comes and thrusts a sword into the tree, a gift to whomever can release it. Many try, but the sword only comes out at Sigmund's touch. His brother-in-law, King Siggeir, wants it, but Sigmund refuses him, so King Siggeir plots revenge. He invites Sigmund and his brothers to a feast, but when they arrive, they are met with death for Sigmund and his brothers seems certain. But the king's wife is Sigmund's sister, and she begs for mercy and implores the king to chain them up instead. He agrees. Not for mercy, though, but because he plans an even more cruel and lingering death. Chained to a tree in the forest that night, a she-wolf comes and devours one of Sigmund's brothers. She returns, ravenous, night after night, until only Sigmund is left. The next day, Sigmund's sister sends a servant with honey to smear on Sigmund's face. But to what end? Well, that night, when the she-wolf appears again, you'll never guess what happens. As the she-wolf licks the sweet honey from Sigmund's face, he bites the wolf's tongue. The she-wolf pulls away, but Sigmund holds on. The chains break, and he is free. After his escape, Sigmund lives like us, hidden in the forest. His enemy, King Siggeir, believing him dead, as his sister plots revenge. And for vengeance to succeed, even the great Sigmund needs help. So she sends her sons to him. But their blood is weak and corrupted, and they're put to death by Sigmund. So his sister hatches a new plan, one that is cold of heart and pure of blood.
Day after day, watching from afar, she mimicked him, perfecting her own secret dance, wishing those fleeting moments of light would stretch out to last forever.
Sigmund's sister trades shapes with a sorceress, and in disguise, she lies with her own brother. She gives birth to a son named Sinfjotli. After a time, she sends him to the forest to Sigmund. He tests the boy and finds him strong and fearless, and so they go to take their vengeance on King Sigmund and lock is not on their side. They're captured, and Siggeir has them buried alive.
It's a trick. It's an illusion. It's not real. It's real. You want to believe it's real, but it's a trick. You're deluded. Where are you going? Where is she going? What is she following? You can't even fight. It's just deception.
How does he so effortlessly court the world and bliss? If only she could do the same. See the world through eyes anew and dance with it, just like he does.
What's your name?
Senua.
I haven't seen you before.
I don't leave home much.
Oh, Zenua's daughter.
I have to go.
Wait. Who taught you to fight like that?
No one.
No one?
Well, I watched you, and
You learnt all of that from watching me? You should become a warrior, you know.
me?
I'm Dillian. I'm here for the warrior trials. Come and watch. Bring your sword.
You can't put it into words. That moment when you look into the eyes of the one who's supposed to reassure you, make you feel safe. It only takes an instant. Fear swallows you before you have a chance to make sense of it. And darkness becomes a part of who you are.
You killed him.
But her world changed the day the Northmen took him from her. Senua knows that there's no going back to how things were. That there's nothing to go back to at all.
Stay still, stay quiet, hide, don't tell her.
Their gods can see into your mind. They will use this power to destroy
They
you.
won't stop me. I can still feel him.
Whatever's left of him, they will never let him go.
I'm not gonna let him rot here.
You're the one rotting here.
Leave me alone.
You will die here.
No.
And all your suffering will have been for nothing.
Shut up! Dillian? Is that you? I'll find you, my love. I promise.
Can you see him? You want to believe it. Is he not real? Is he there? You're alone in these mountains. Is that Dillian? Nothing lives here. You won't survive. You met him by the tree. She met him by the tree. Maybe it's a sign, the tree. What's he trying to tell you? He's waiting for you by the tree.
As Sigmund and Sinfjotli are being buried alive, Sigmund's sister throws an armful of straw into the grave mound. Hidden in the straw is Sigmund's sword, the gift of Odin. They cut their way out of the grave mound and set fire to Siggeir's hole. The king burns to death. Sigmund calls to his sister to come out so that she may live and be honored. She does come out, but only to tell him the truth. That she had slept with him, her brother. to beget a strong avenger. And here is the end of Sigmund's story. He was a fierce and great warrior who fought many battles. But one day, an old man came onto the battlefield. Although shadowed by a hood, Sigmund saw that he only had one eye. The man raised his spear, and Sigmund struck at it with his sword, but the sword shattered into pieces. Sigmund then knew that this was Odin, and thus that victory could not be his. He bowed his head and accepted his end. Dying, he tells his wife that she is with child, and that her son will one day make a great weapon out of the fragments of his sword. The sword named Gra.
Imagine a sword that can slay gods. Its name is Gramr. It was forged by the god of all Northmen, Odin, and gifted to Sigmund, a great warrior.
I need this sword. It's important. Can you help me?
The sword appears whole, but it is an illusion. It shattered into shards long ago. It is said a great warrior can reforge Gramr by answering the trials of Odin, one for each shard. The roots of the Tree of Death will take you to new lands where you will face the trials.
Go to the shards. Go to the shard.
Go to the shards.
What's the shard? Find it.
It's the metal runestones.
It's in front of you. Find it. The metal. The runes. Find it. There it is.
Focus.
Where's the shard? Focus.
Focus.
Use your eyes. Look.
Get closer.
What can you see?
A king in the north forced the dwarves to make a sword that would never fail and never rust, and that would slice through iron and stone and bring victory to its bearer. But the angry dwarves cursed it. It would be the death of a man every time it was drawn, and it would be the death of the king. Let me tell you about the sword Tyrving.
I don't recognize this place. Where are we? Where is she?
It feels wrong. Where are we now? Burial mound.
So strange that we go to such lengths to bury death. Something so very ordinary, inevitable. It's as if we conspire to hide death, because we have no answer for it. But when it comes, and forces itself onto our friends or loved ones, then comes the reckoning.
Senua, you remind me of a story that the Northmen tell about a young woman warrior. Her name is Herver, the daughter of a berserker, born after he was killed. She's a wild, willful child who teaches herself to fight with weapons. When she learns where her father is buried, her only desire is to reclaim the treasure buried with him, but above all, the sword, Tyrving.
Dillian, I'm here. I'm here for the trials. Like when we first met, remember? I'll find him.
What's that? Did you hear that? Nothing. Was that voices? It's not his voice or the voice of the dead. Not Dillian.
Dillian's calling to you. Can you hear him?
Where is he?
He sounds like he's getting further away.
Have you lost him?
You're going the wrong way.
Herver disguises herself as a man to join a band of warriors, and soon becomes their leader. When they come to the island where her father is buried, her men do not want to go ashore. They say that evil haunts the island, and that it is a worse place by day than other places are by night. Fearless, she lands alone. There are many grave mounds, and all of them have ghostly flames burning over them. She comes to the grave mound of her father after passing through these ghostly fires, as though they were mist. The flames I passed through were real enough. Damn the Northmen to hell.
She has to keep going.
It's not safe here.
She has to keep going.
If you go down there, no one can save you.
It's too scary.
I can hear him.
Within the burial mound, Herver calls on her father to wake from death and bring her his sword. She says that it is not seemly for the dead in their grave mounds to bear valuable weapons. Her father answers with words of warning. You go to your doom. Baleful runes surround you. You have gone mad. You have lost your mind. Your thoughts are confused. It is dangerous to wake the dead. Like I said, she reminds me of you.
We're nearly there. It's him. He's going to save you.
Find the voice.
Find him.
It's not him. It's not him.
We told you. We told you it was true. What's happening? It's not him, it can't be.
What's that sound? The voice is changing.
What?
Herver ignores her father's warnings. The grave mound opens, and it seems to be full of fire. Again, Herver demands her inheritance, but her father warns her that the sword is cursed and would be the bane of her family. But he relents and brings her the sword. She leaves the island with it, but the curse holds true, and death would follow in the years to come. And so, Senua, the misdeeds of a father have cursed his daughter.
Find a way. There has to be a way. Find a way. There's always a way.
Don't stop now, don't give up now, find a way.
You're too close to stop. What's in there?
Me to find him. I'm lost without him. That voice. It's not Dillion. Me to face my fears. Father? I'm leaving. I've decided. I think it will be good for me.
It's the darkness. It's speaking through you.
No, Dad, it's me. I think I can beat it. In my own way.
I can see the darkness in your eyes, child.
I met a boy.
Boy?
The chieftain's son.
No.
He said he could help me.
It's a trick.
He said I could be normal.
Normal?
Yes.
No boy is going to save you. No one can. When they see the rot growing inside you,
No!
they will turn their back on you. The gods can only fix you through my hand. You're going nowhere.
No.
You will not defy the gods. Come, child, take my hand. Come. Senua.
I am leaving!
You cannot escape the darkness. Your curse will make everyone suffer. You will have blood on your hands!
It's done. You did it, but there's more. Keep going. There's more. You're tired, but you have to keep going. There's still more. There's always more to do. It's not going to be easy.
I want to tell you a story about a god of the Northmen called Balder. The second son of Odin. He was beautiful, good, and wise. He was fair of feature, he spoke fair words, he gave fair judgments. Light shone from him. Only good things were told of him. Yet he was the first of the gods to die.
You want to see what the mask sees?
No, she doesn't.
Don't look. Where are we?
What is this?
It's the same. It's another world. It's lighter.
It's nicer. I like it here.
The bridge.
It's not broken.
It's fixed.
What happened? The bridge is fixed.
Let's cross it.
The Northmen tell this story about the death of Balder. It begins with dark dreams. Night after night, Balder dreams of his own death, and the gods fear for his life. So Balder's mother makes everything in the world: fire, water, iron, stone, earth, wood, beasts, birds, serpents, poison, sickness. Swear an oath not to harm her son. One by one, they each make their vow. Neither weapons nor wood will injure him, Balder's mother boasts. Only Loki, father of Hela, the mistress of death, is not amused.
Dillion is in there.
Don't forget.
You can feel it. You need the runes to fight.
Dillion.
You need Dillion. He's waiting for you.
He always said
He's close.
he knows about you.
You can feel he's close.
He loves you.
Calling you. Dillion. Dillion, we're here.
Dillion.
We're nearly here. Dillion, there he is. What are you waiting for?
Quick, find a way.
Find him.
Go through before he disappears.
Where is he?
Where's he gone?
We're in the wrong world.
He's not here.
She's in the wrong world.
He's not in this world.
He's in the other one. He's in the other one. He's in the dark world.
The dark.
The world once seemed so simple. Black and white. Darkness and light. Narrow dividing lines of our own making. Dillion taught her to see further. To peek through the cracks and see the worlds of colour stretching away from the gloom. And Senua explored new paths into the unknown.
The gods feast and rejoice and amuse themselves by throwing spears and stones at Balder, striking at him with sword and axe. But he comes to no harm, whatever they do. The gods never cease to wonder at this great marvel. But Loki shapes himself into a woman and asks Balder's mother, "Is it really true that all things promise to keep him safe?" "I did not ask the mistletoe," Balder's mother confesses. "I thought it was too young." Oh dear.
He saved you when everyone else turned their backs.
Senua, you've got it.
Why isn't he here?
He's gone.
He's in the dark world.
He's gone to the dark world.
You're in the wrong world.
He's the reason she's alive.
The dark world.
Without you.
Nobody will love her now.
Can you remember what love feels like?
Look what happens to the things she
loves. She destroys the things she loves.
There he is.
Where are you taking
He's
me?
up there.
He's up there.
How do you get up there?
There's a way. There is a way up there. She can do this.
You're nearly there.
She can find the way. Why didn't she listen to her father?
She thought she could defy him.
Loki makes a dart out of mistletoe and goes to the gods as they throw things at Balder. The blind god, Huth, was there. Loki asks him why he wasn't taking part. Huth says, "I cannot see where Balder stands, and even if I could see him, I have no weapon." Loki replies, "Here is a wand. I will tell you where he stands." And Huth throws the mistletoe at Balder. It pierces through him, and to everyone's horror, Balder is killed. And for this, Huth is slain.
Curse.
And now the darkness is swallowing you both.
The Northmen tell how the gods mourned Balder. His body was to be burnt on his ship, but they could not manage to push it into the sea, and sent for a giantess to do it. She comes riding a wolf and has vipers for her reins. She pushes Balder's ship into the sea with such force that the ground shakes and the rollers burst into flames. When Balder's wife sees his body carried onto the ship, her heart bursts with grief, and she dies. She's put next to her husband, and the pyre is lit, sending the dead to hell. Cannot accept his death.
Was it worth it?
You let you astray. You should have listened to your father when you were young.
He was kind to her.
Overcome with grief, the gods send Hermod to ride to Hell and ask Hela to let Balder return home. All the gods are weeping, he says. Are they? Asks Hela. We shall see if he is truly missed. If everything in the world will weep for him, he shall go back to the gods. But if even one thing refuses, Balder stays with me. The gods send messengers everywhere. Weep for Balder, weep him out of Hell. And everything wept. Men, beasts, earth, stone, trees, metal, everything. Except for a giantess they find in a cave. Balder was never my friend, she says. Let Hel keep what she has. The Northmen say that the giantess must have been Loki in disguise.
It's the only reason she's still alive. Dillian's in the tower. He's there. Nobody will love her. You had that loved you. You squashed it, strangled it, flattened it. The curse cannot be undone. He's the reason she's alive at all.
The Northmen tell how the gods punished Loki for Balder's death. They captured him and took him to a cave. They fetched his 2 sons and turned one into a wolf, and he ripped his brother apart. The gods used Loki's own son's entrails to tie him down and turned these bonds to iron and dangled a poisonous serpent over his face so that its venom would drip onto him. Each time the venom drips onto Loki's face, he writhes in agony. The Northmen say that is the cause of earthquakes. A reminder, perhaps, that if even gods must accept death, then so must we.
Doesn't know who killed him, but we do.
Years had passed since she left her father. She trained hard alongside her friend, Dillian. She saw things no one else could. Patterns, shapes.
She thought she had light within her.
An intuition that made her an exceptional warrior.
Darkness.
Friendship turned to love. But the shadow of darkness never let her go, and she was caught between 2 worlds. That of Zinbel and her past. And Dillian, her future. 2 realities tearing at her soul.
He saw who she could be.
He saw who she really was.
He saw the warrior within. He didn't believe that she was cursed. He saved you when everyone else turned their backs. What if this is pointless?
What are you doing? Why did you think you could make this the way you keep seeing
Runes, you see runes everywhere.
everywhere?
But what if they're not real?
What if they don't actually make sense?
Is there a trick? The gods were lying. If you think it makes sense, but really the gods are playing with you.
It makes sense in your mind, but it doesn't make sense in the worlds.
The gods are linked, but it doesn't mean anything.
You can't read this language, you don't understand.
Sinbel was right.
You're wasting time.
You're cursed. You'll never succeed. So, quicker. He was the only one that didn't mind the curse.
He loved her so much. You have no chance.
Cursed.
Do you remember what it was to touch him? He saved you. He saved you.
That's you.
You owe him.
His love keeps you strong.
What does it feel like to be in love? He saw that she was strong. What if they're all about wasting your time, just delaying minute by minute by minute? What does she think she's doing? You're special. She thinks she
They mean nothing.
being special.
It's a waste of time.
Could all be a waste of her time.
The gods are just toying,
Playing,
What if the gods are laughing at her?
messing with her.
It wouldn't be this.
Everything has egoist time.
Killed him with your love because he believed in you.
Do you remember the way he looked? You broke him. You killed him.
He couldn't see the darkness within you.
You have no chance for love now.
Nobody will love you again.
Ever again.
You killed. You have no time for this. Speed up.
Things most precious to you.
It's all part of their game. They say the trials to destroy
Dillion never much cared for the underworld, and looked dimly upon the druids, like her father, Zinbel. I guess he took after his father, a chieftain who believed nothing he couldn't see, and he happened to be blind. She felt safe in Dillion's arms, learned to see the world through his eyes. And slowly, the darkness that had bound her so tightly began to unravel.
You squashed it, strangled it, flattened it. The curse cannot be undone. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. You're cursed. She should have listened to her father. Why didn't she listen to her father? She thought she could define it.
Dillion!
Dillion never much cared for the underworld, and looked dimly upon the druids, like her father, Zinbel. I guess he took after his father, a chieftain who believed nothing he couldn't see, and he happened to be blind. She felt safe in Dillion's arms, learned to see the world through his eyes. And slowly, the darkness that had bound her so tightly began to unravel.
Very careful. You've come this far, don't let him slip away. It's a narrow bridge, and there's a long way to fall. It's not safe.
You're going to fall, careful.
No, she's not. She's not going to fall. She's strong. She's steady. She can do it. You can do it, Senua. It's your fault. He's disappeared. You've lost him to the sea. He's gone. You've lost him to the... He's gone to the water. He's drowned.
Senua. Your father cannot understand your darkness. He cannot see through your eyes. No one can. My own father was born blind. Doesn't have the faintest idea of what the night looks like. The word dark to him means as little as the word light. So someone is afraid of the dark. So we fix them by taking away their sight. Would you give up the beautiful world that you, and only you, can see just to be rid of your nightmares? Or is this the price you paid for the gift you have? A gift that makes you so special in my eyes. Just another part of the person I know.
I left for the wilds to protect you from my darkness. Because I love you. But it made it worse. I'm so sorry.
What if this is pointless? What if you're wrong? What if this has nothing to do with the sword? What if we're wrong? The sword will never be yours. What if this is the end.
It's just a trick. Pointless tests.
You've been fooled before, you could be fooled again.
You're being tested.
You don't know.
It's just their game for you.
You never know which way it's going to go.
I saw once a plague strike northern lands of ice. It was so terrible that not the oldest man among us could remember the like. Hundreds died. The sickness took nearly every person younger than 40 and many older, and where dying mothers gave birth, the marks of the plague were on the babes as they came out of the womb.
Where are we?
I don't like it.
This place feels...
What is this place?
This place feels...
It's
creepy.
creepy.
It feels wrong.
It feels strange. Where is it? Where are we?
Turn back.
This is wrong. This has to be wrong.
This place stinks.
There he is.
There he is.
The light.
Go towards it.
He's in the house.
Find him.
He's going in.
He's disappearing.
Follow him.
Don't let him disappear.
The air
Where's it gone? Keep going.
How do you find it?
It's just
It's a test. Like the old warrior trials. Lillian will help me.
The stench of rot. She can almost taste it. Do you smell it? No. Don't worry. Not everyone can. It was a warm spring day when she went to the river with Dillian and the others. For the water. She could taste the rot. But no one else could. She knew something was wrong. Something sinister. She begged them to leave, but they just laughed at her. But soon enough, as the bodies piled up, no one was laughing. And they knew that she was not like that.
The Northmen speak of a death moon, a light shaped like a half moon that appears inside a house and goes around the walls. I once saw the death moon appear at a farm, and first the shepherd died, then a guest died, and then the farmhands, and then the farmer and 6 of his men drowned at sea. But that is not the end of it, because the dead return to haunt the living. If you see the death moon, then beware, because there will be death in that house.
Just a small piece of the puzzle. You found a way
to climb the tower.
The ladder.
Quick.
You can see it. A line to the truth. The bridge.
She did it.
You fixed the bridge.
Fixed it.
You passed the trial. Get to the house.
Done. You succeeded. finish until you get to the house.
Before he disappears, Senua.
You have to get in.
Senua! Come to me! Where are you?
I'm here! I'm right here!
Are you in there?
Where is he? Find him.
Come out if you
You
want.
have to find him.
The runes.
Focus.
There was a Northman called Grettir. Big, red-haired, immensely strong. But he was afraid of the dark. It happened one night that an undead creature came to his house to drag him outside into darkness and kill him. He resisted with every ounce of his strength. He clung to the doorframe, but it gave way, and they spilled out of the house, and the monster fell back, and the moon shone down on its ghastly face. Grettir, terrified, cuts off its head, but is cursed forever. From that moment on, wherever he was, he would see those hideous eyes staring back at him. Sometimes we allow our own...
Dillian! They're coming for me! What should I do? It's close, move away. Senua, move away.
Feel it.
You'll die.
You feel it?
You're dying. The burning.
She's
the gun.
dying. The burning.
The burn. Let it see you.
It
Go.
is.
Go towards
Quick.
it.
Run.
Focus. Two more to find.
Where are they, Senua?
Where's Dillian?
Where are you?
Don't let it see you.
Don't get lost.
Don't let it see
Come
you.
on.
You'll start to burn.
Going. You'll burn.
There it is. Move away.
Don't get it.
Quick. Where's Dillian?
Where is he?
This is
Where are
taking
you?
too long.
Can you hear him? You're lost. You have to find them, Senua.
You're lost.
Where are they?
Run! Run now! Run! It's not safe here. Run!
Senua.
You saw it. You came through the wrong door.
Where's your sword?
Defend yourself. It is that creature.
You can't defend
Dillian.
yourself. It's Dillian. Find the creature.
Where's Dillian? Where are we?
That's not Dillian.
It's not safe.
We'll have to find one more.
One does it.
Find the other symbol you're lost.
I can't find you!
The light.
Go towards it. Find it. Focus. Look. You've got the big It's close, move away. Senua, move away.
Feel it.
You'll die.
Run! Run now! Run! It's not safe here. Run!
Senua,
You don't even have your sword.
you came through the wrong door.
Where's your sword? They're coming! Where are we? It's not safe. I feel unsafe. You're dying. You're dying. This is what death feels like.
Senua! Senua! What happened?
They're blaming me for the plague. They say that I'm cursed. What if they're right?
How would they know such a thing? Are they gods? None of us are. They're just people. Good people, but they're scared. They're afraid of what they can't see. Like children scared of the dark. They make up stories to fill the void. That doesn't make them true.
What if my father was right?
You have to step out of this darkness. Let them see who you really are, like I have. You're not a monster.
Without you, this darkness has made me a monster.
Killing you would be too easy. They're taking your memories to torture you. They're taking your body inside. You're disappearing one memory at a time. Every time you remember, it disappears. They're going to take everything. They're not yours anymore. They're going to take everything you have. The memories of ghosts. They belong to the gods, not to you. They're eating you from the inside. They want to kill your soul. They want to crush it. They want your body. They want your soul. They want your mind, and they're going to take it. The memories were yours, but they're the gods now. Nothing is yours anymore. It's disappearing with your memories.
The Northmen say that their Allfather, Odin, gave his eye in exchange for a drink from Mimir's well, the well of wisdom. In blindness there can be wisdom. Only by giving can you receive in return. For this reason, I give my life and pass on my stories of the Northmen to you, Senua.
Where am I can't see. Who's there?
Can you hear me?
Dillian.
I'm right here. Can't you see me?
No. Help me.
Breathe slow.
It's the darkness.
Stay still. Empty your thoughts. Tell me what you feel.
A breeze.
Good.